Okay, so we're going to explain how this little pump, or how it looks like this little pump works here. Let me grab the extra couple pieces here. So what we have here is this is the actual housing for the pump. We heated this thing up and got this bushing out of it, so we'll kind of see what's going on. And one of the reasons that this thing wasn't working is this hole here actually comes through. So we have this piece here. So we've got our intake, and if you flip it over here, you can see you've got two holes in the top here, and then you've got your intake hole. These two holes go to these two pieces, so we've actually got two outputs and then the one input. The input comes in and it lines up with this hole on here, so they fit together like this. And so that comes in, and basically it may be, let me get a flashlight here and see if we can see inside of this. There's actually a hole here, so it comes in this hole and then out into this little chamber here. Now it's pretty rough in there, and probably, I don't know if I'm ever going to get this pump to work again, but I'm going to see if I can. But this area needs to be cleaned out. But what ends up happening is, if you look at this piece, we have 4 holes that are up here at the top. And you've got these 2 slots here. And then if you look at the bottom, you've got a hole here and a hole here. So what happens is this here, the top lip here, actually seals up the chamber here and makes a seal. So what happens is the fluid goes in this hole and then sits down here at the bottom. So it comes into this area down here, and then will get sucked back up into this hole and this hole. So looking at the front of this, we have our intake holes where the fluid is actually coming up from the bottom. So this hole and this hole, which line up with these bottom pieces, that's where the fluid comes back up into the pump. Then inside of the top piece here, there are 2 little pieces of metal here. They're 2 little slides that slide down into this section. So there's one there, and then one for the other side. And you can see that they've got a little bit of a lip on one side of them where they fit into the groove here. What happens is this shaft here slides up from the other side. So it actually slides down through this like this. And then on the other side, you've got a little seal that goes on the back side. So that's what basically holds it on to this piece. So inside of this groove here, you end up with this snap ring, and all the snap ring is doing is holding these 2 plates in place. It's not really doing a whole lot, but it does. I mean, obviously it does a lot because it keeps everything together, but it's not a moving part. So this slides down into here, and the fluid pumps out of the 2 holes. This shaft, I guess, is where all the magic happens, and I don't know if you can see it on the videotape, but you can kind of see some press marks where they have. It's not a round piece. It's actually got 3 grooves in it, or 3 kind of flat spots. And so what it's doing is, as it is spinning inside of this shaft, and it sits up here, as it spins around, it's creating a vacuum basically in these 4 holes. And so we have the fluid that comes through here, in here, and then gets sucked out and blown out of 2 of the 2 holes here into this plate. And then these 2 holes line up with them and basically get fluid coming out. The thing that is in this plate is another thing here, this plate actually seals together. Now, when I took this thing apart, someone had actually put silicone in this groove that goes around the plate. I'm not sure if that's actually supposed to be sealed off, or if it's just the two plates meshing together that actually creates the seal. I've got to research that a little bit more. But I can tell you that this is perfectly flat across here, as is when you put this piece in here and press it back into place. This piece creates a perfectly flat surface here as well. So there really is no high or low spot for anything to happen. But what had happened is, when I took this apart and even trying to put it back together, the holes on here are not matching up to the holes, the output holes on this piece. So there was no way for this thing to actually blow any fluid through these two exit lines, because this piece had actually shifted, and we actually could tell that it had shifted because if you look at this plate, you can see where over the life of this thing it has made groove or little. They're perfectly smooth, but there's two spots here where those plates sat. So those plates one would sit here and one would sit here, so that as that centerpiece turns around, they were actually creating the seal to actually keep all of this working. And they had shifted about 30 degrees out, so they actually weren't lining up with those two holes anymore. And so to me there was no way that this pump was going to work at all. This piece here has actually shifted around, and like I said, I'm probably not going to get this pump working again. But it was, you know, interesting to take it all apart and kind of see how it works. And I could be incorrect on some of my assumptions as far as the way that it works, but I think that that's pretty much the gist of it.